Hi. Hi, everyone. How are you? This is Debbie Robinson. I'm happy to be here. I came on a little early just so that we can arrive and get set up, make sure that everything's okay. Hi, Carol. I see your daughter's here as well, which is really cool. It's really interesting because it's not just we're here in Southern California practicing. Now, this is from all over. So when we go virtual, we can actually go wider, which is really interesting. Can you hear me okay? Sound has been one of the comments people have made is that they cannot hear me. They hear me here and then not necessarily when I go back to the mat. So am I coming in loud and clear? I hope so. Um, we'll just give people a chance to arrive. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Stephen. How are you? Wow. So my mother's best friend since the age of, I think, two. Her son lives in Nottingham, where Robin Hood is from, right? And he's on here. So that's awesome. Um, yeah, I'll just wait. Does anybody have any questions or anything to talk about? I'd rather not speak too much about Corona because that's all we hear about. And I think many of you know that I choose to not watch too much news, and that still remains the same. And so I do listen to a couple of things every now and then, and I don't notice a big change from moment to moment. I notice the change and the information that comes out happens over days, not moment by moment or hour by hour. So even if you choose to watch every day or so, you'll still be current, believe me. Um, Yeah. So this is interesting times. And I don't, I really think yoga is a part of why I try to keep a positive mind all the time. I really do try to look at the positive because I think that in everything there is positive, and this is an amazing time for shift for many of us in a way that we've never experienced. And so it's very interesting what's coming up. And I think it's important to not go into the place of the what ifs because in reality, there are no answers, and nobody, no matter how professional, no matter what the credentials are, nobody has the answers to tomorrow. The only thing that is real is now. And so I am staying in my moments and trying to move my body because I realize that I'm more sedentary being at home and it's important. And as I teach these classes, I usually don't participate in the whole class because I'm usually walking around to watch people move and to help modify. So I'm actually doing more yoga than I usually do, in addition to my own practice. So, want to give people a few more moments to arrive. And then, is anyone, so a few things, few housekeeping things, is that it in order to chat with me, you may need to have a Google account, and that is a free account that you can get. And I think that once you get that, you're able to chat with me if you want to send me any questions right there on the side and have me answer them. And you can always send me emails. It's on my link at my website. My name is Debbie Robinson, and my email is Debbie at Debbie Robinson, spelling Debbie DEBI. So any questions you can have send there. I'll try to speak a little louder today when I'm on the floor. I do have a microphone, you see. It wasn't in view, so I used to have it pushed back a little bit, and I don't care about whether or not you can see my microphone in the video because I'd really rather have it closer to when I get on the floor so that you can hear me. And I'll also turn up the music at the end today, the meditation mantra that I use at the end of, I'm going to say every class. It's almost every class. It's 99% of every class, in case I forget my phone or something happens. So I would like to know if there are, ooh, talk about the vagus nerve. Yeah, I do talk about that quite often, that the gas and the brake system of the body, the gas pedal, the fight flight part of the nervous system, the break is where we do our resting and digesting and repairing and restoring. So these times is causing our gas pedal to be stimulated. And the brain does not know the difference between real or perceived danger. And that's important because we don't think about that as often as I think we should. And when we have thoughts or we have fear or we have worry of the future, our body gets a signal that it better get the heck out of here. And so it goes into a mode of running away. And to run away, you need certain physical things. You need blood to go to your big moving muscles. So the blood moves away from the internal center of the body where digestion takes place, where your whole hormonal system is, and it goes to the extremities so you can actually flee the situation. So if you think about when you watch a movie and somebody is scared, really scared, like scared to death, scared, and they want to run away, and you see their eyeballs and you see their motions and what happens in their body, and then you see them bolt and run away. Our body is doing that while we're watching the news and while we're worried about what's happening in the future. And that's actually a catabolic phase internally. It breaks down because in order to get the energy to take the blood to the muscles and to do what the body needs to do to prepare to run, it needs energy. And so it will take the energy, either stored energy or energy that from foods you just ate recently, and it will use that energy to run and to get out of here. And you may be sitting on your sofa watching the news. And so what happens is that energy then cannot be used for repairing, restoring, healing, digesting, assimilating, metabolizing. So it's important that we use our energy that we have internally for all of the good stuff and the healing stuff in the body. And that will not be the case if we just watch things and we don't take some of this out of our system. So, with that said, let's begin by trying to release some of that stored up energy that we have. Hi, Sharon. I see you as well. Let's do something to release that stored up energy. I taught this yesterday in one of my classes, and I'm going to teach this again today. I was taught this by Dr. Meena, a woman I studied with from India. And she said that for their mental cases, when people have a lot of mental emotional issues, they use this. And so this is actually mental issues that we're dealing with now, right? Stress, thinking, worry, fear, what ifs. So let's do something physically to try to use up the stress hormones and the biochemistry of stress that's inside of our body. Let's do a little physical action to try to release and metabolize and lighten up our load of that metabolic stress internally. That's important. And then when we go on the mat and do everything else we do, all of the asana, the physical poses we do today, will also utilize some of that internal biochemical stuff that's happening with stress. Okay. So here is something that I learned. We're going to sit in your chair. I would say that closing your eyes is better because the retina, the optic nerve going to the brain, it's up to 80% of the stimulation that goes to the brain in certain areas of the brain comes from what we see. So when we close our eyes, we stop that flow of energy to the brain that stimulates some of that limbic loop. And so closing the eyes actually will take you also to a place where you could feel. And when you go to a place of feeling versus thinking, that's when you also help to moderate or mitigate the stress response in the mind. Okay. So come all the way back into your chair or wherever you are. Just come to a place where you can close your eyes. And if closed eyes bothers you, minimize the gaze. So come to a place where you can find that where you feel where you are, your eyes are closed, and then you're going to take your pretty big as you gather towards you. Just gather towards you. You could actually label something you're thinking about, or just think about all the thoughts that you've had in this last week in general. Just gather all of those thoughts as if you were a kindergarten teacher trying to round up your little 5-year-olds into a huddle so you could hug them all in one big hug. So group hug your thoughts, bring them in, bring them in, bring them in, hold them very close to your body, make fists, and shake. Make fists so that you're shaking. Use a lot of muscular strength. Fire up your upper body, your arms, your fists. Really fire up everything. Grab a hold, and then let your hands go away from you. Open up your hands and let it all go. Okay? If you need to open your eyes, maybe we should open our eyes to watch me do this for 1 second. Okay? You're going to gather like the kindergarten teacher gathering her kindergartners for a group hug. You're going to gather all the stress, all the stuff, all the things right here, and then hold really, really tight so that you're shaking from it because you're holding so tight. And then you open up your fists and you release. Okay? Carson, my cat, decided to join us. All right. So we're going to do that 3 times. We're going to gather everything. You could label what it is that's bothering you, what you need to release, or you don't even need to label anything. We're going to do that. Close your eyes. Gather everything from the sides, from up on top, from down below, from everywhere external to you that's in your proximity. Just gather, bring it close. Make fists, squeeze those fists, squeeze. Let it shake. And then make sound as you whoosh, release it. 1 more time, 2 more times. Gather. Just bring it in front of you. Grab hold of it. Shake. Just hold it. Have control. This is your control. This is where you stop that process. You apply the brakes to the thoughts. And then whoosh. 1 more time. Gather everything that's not controllable in our lives right now, where the ground is taken out from under us, from many of us. Gather. Now take it, hold it, control. You have this control. Hold it tight. You've got it. Hold it. Last time, whoosh, to release. Keep your eyes closed if you can. Take your hands on top of your thighs so you feel your thighs underneath your palms and your fingertips. Notice what's happening to your heart. And if you really activated, if you moved your body up high like that, and if you clenched your fists with a lot of force, you'll notice that your heart accelerates. And this is going to help to clear and to process some of that pent-up stress that's inside of our bodies. And then let's take your hands, rub your hands together. Bring your hands to cover your eyes. And then go ahead and open your eyes. Okay. So that's a little tool to add to the toolbox during these days and times. It would be really nice to try if you hear something or feel something very strongly. So if you hear something that triggers a strong emotion internally, or if you're in a place of feeling something really strong, this is a great way to release some of that. Okay. So we're going to go down onto the floor. I begin all of my yoga classes on the floor to ground our energy, to bring us from out here to the somatic awareness of the body, and to just get your mind to slow down and ground your mental energy, ground your physical energy. Okay. So we're going to go back. I'm going to go to the mat. I'm going to try to speak pretty loud. Got my microphone stretched as far as I can. And I'll put some music on. Let's go. So make sure that you have props, okay? And a cat is not a prop. Although I want to say that actually cats, animals, they help release a neurotransmitter that is actually very healing for the body. So animals are actually great during a time like this. Okay, so I'd like you to make sure you have your props. We're going to need a strap for this class. And if you don't have a strap, get a towel. So this is a hand towel, which I think is actually a little too small. I tried this the other day and it's a little small unless you're very flexible in your legs. Then you can get if you don't have that, so you can move up to a bath towel. So get a bath towel. And I'm showing home props because for those of you that have a yoga blanket or you have a bolster and block, I wanted to show options for people that don't have any of those things. Okay. So the other thing is a block. A yoga block is a really great prop, and in the osteoporosis class, it's really wonderful when we do our standing work so that you could bring the floor to you And so many people can't get all the way down the floor, and not that you have to. And so this is a really great prop. Having a chair also, we'll need to have a chair, and if you don't have a chair, a wall will do. So just a place where you can steady yourself balance wise. And then if you have blankets or pillows, you can use blankets and pillows underneath your legs to help support your back. So I'll go down on the floor just to show you this, and then I'm going to come to a seated position to guide you through the guided meditation, and then you're going to stay on the floor. So I think that may be another way that you'll be able to hear me better, is if I am sitting as opposed to lying. And I prefer to guide you in a seated position, but I'd like you to be in a supine or a flat position. So you're going to come onto your seat, so your tushy. Now, the thing with osteoporosis is you want to make sure you don't round your spine, especially this upper part of the spine. That's counterindicated, and this is an osteoporosis class. So we're going to come down onto the floor by moving to the side, reaching your hand away from you, and then coming all the way down onto the floor. And then if you do have something to put underneath your legs, you could put your legs up on a chair if you have a chair, or you could put your legs on a blanket or pillows. So I'll let you get into this position before I begin. So take your time, make sure you're really comfortable. And if it's cold, get a blanket and cover yourself. And I'm just going to wait a few minutes just to make sure you all get yourself nice and comfortable. So you're going to stay on the floor. I'm going to come to a seated position so I could guide you. And I think that the volume may be better if I do that. So you're going to come onto the floor and you're going to bring your arms in out, straight out to the side. And then you're going to slightly bend your elbows and come into scarecrow arms. So my other cat is going to join us too. Oh, goodness. This is Willie. And so he's going to join us as well. So a lot of nitric oxide is being secreted in my mind right now with my cats around me, that neurotransmitter that is very healing. So come into a very comfortable position. That's important, because when the, I might have to put these guys out. When the physical body is relaxed, it helps the mental body relax. So in yoga therapy, we look at 5 layers of a person: the physical, the physiological or energetic, the mental, meaning the mind, and then the emotional intelligence. And then the last layer of us is a spiritual layer, the layer called the bliss body, but it's that spiritual layer of us. So come all the way flat, and then the arms are out to the sides. And if you can, bend your elbows, making sure that the shoulders don't go up towards the ears. So notice where your shoulders are. If they've risen up towards your ears, press them back down. And then you're going to close your eyes. So I mentioned earlier about the eyes. The optic nerve is responsible for sending a lot of information to the brain. So closing the eyes takes away that signal, the information of what you see, and then the triggers that occur from what is in front of us, what we're seeing. So closing your eyes, first bring your awareness to where you are. Notice the space that you're in, and notice the sounds that exist around you. If you can hear the birds chirping outside, listen to them. If you can hear sounds from inside your house, maybe you hear the machinery in the wall. Maybe you can hear the heartbeat of your home with the electronics that are there. Really integrate yourself into the sound field. And if there are no sounds around you, bring your awareness to your heart. See if you can hear the heartbeat. Bringing your awareness to your mouth. Notice if there are any taste sensations left over from whatever you ate this morning. Or today, if you're in another time zone and it's nighttime for you. Bring your awareness to your nose and take a couple of whiffs, deep smells. See if you could detect any smells, any scents, any aromas that are around you. And then let's bring your awareness to your mouth. Let's keep the mouth closed. Let the bottom lips and top lips gently meet. And then you're going to take your tongue and you're going to visualize the skinny legs of a butterfly. And if the butterfly lands on a petal, think of the soft pressure at which his skinny little legs would touch down onto that petal. You're going to take your tongue and gently let your tongue rest where the roof of the mouth and the teeth meet, ever so gently, like that butterfly landing on the petal. This will relax the jaw and separate the back teeth. So taking out some of the tension, or taking out tension from the place where we hold tension often, which is in the jaw. Bringing your awareness to your nose. Start to feel and sense the temperature of the air coming into your body. Feel the temperature of the cool air as it comes in your nostrils. And then begin to follow that breath. So follow that breath in the nostrils, down the back of the throat, all the way down to the belly button. And then follow the breath out of the body, belly button, up the esophagus, up the throat, and out the nostrils. And continue following the breath in the nostrils, down the back of the throat to the belly button. And then follow the breath from the belly button up the esophagus, up the throat, out the nostrils. Continue following your breath. You can add a visual, a green line that is made from outside your nostrils as the breath comes in the body all the way down to the belly button. And then see that pathway as the breath leaves the body, up the esophagus, out the nostrils. As if your eyes were looking and watching and following the pathway the breath takes. Let your eyes be a part of this. Let the sense of feel be a part of this. Turning your mental awareness to this green line as the breath comes in, all the way down to the belly button. Feel your belly rise. And then follow the breath out of the body, up the esophagus, out the throat, out the nostrils. Stay with your breath. Stay with watching your breath. The eyes are closed, but you're still watching and noticing. And then let's add another element As you breathe in all the way down to the belly button. Imagine the belly button's a light bulb. And as you come closer, the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. So allow your belly to fill up with light, get brighter and brighter and brighter. And then as you exhale, a slight dimming of the light as the breath, follow the breath out of the body, up the esophagus, out the throat, and out the nostrils. Just you and your breath. Stay there with the breath. Watch it come in and out. Feel it moving your body. Feel it enter your body and expand your body. Feel it leave and your body releases and contracts back to center. Finishing up your last 3 breaths like this, long, slow, deep breaths. We're going to add a little bit of movement to our meditation. Keeping your eyes closed, I want you to feel your body move and feel your breath happen as well. The arms are all the way open out to the side. Keep the arms there. Take a big inhalation. And as you exhale, bring your arms towards your body and hug yourself, bending the elbows as you hug your torso. Inhale, let your arms open all the way. Let them touch the floor. Exhale to hug yourself. Let the movement be the entire time of your breath. You inhale slowly, letting the arms open. You exhale slowly, letting the arms cross over so you can hug yourself. And then begin to notice which arm comes closest to your face, which forearm comes closer to your face, and start to switch them. You inhale, open. As you exhale to hug yourself, switch your arms. Inhale, open. Exhale, hug yourself. Inhale, open. Exhale, hug yourself. Let's do one more. Inhale to open. Let your arms stay there. Let your arms go. Let them rest on the floor. Let your body be heavy. Bring your awareness to your fingers. Bring your awareness to your toes. Start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Start to move your ankles and your wrists. And then start to move your elbows. And then bring your awareness to your core. So below your ribs, the space below the ribs, right where the legs attach to the body. Imagine there's a big juicy navel orange, a very big orange. You're going to squeeze the orange, push it towards your spine, and bring your knees into your chest. When your knees are into your chest, you're going to rock side to side. This is going to flatten the low back onto the floor. Give a little relief for the low back. Then go ahead and rock all the way to your right side. Cradle your head in your hand. And then this left leg that's on top, you could use this to help you if you'd like. We're not going to lead with the left shoulder. We're not going to lead with the head. We're going to lead with the left shoulder. That's important. So you're going to take your left hand on the floor in front of you, and you're going to push your left hand in the floor and your right elbow on the floor to bring yourself up to seated. Okay. So that's actually a breathing technique taught to me probably in 2008 when I was at the Deepak Chopra Center by Dr. Vasant Lad, and he is one of the most important teachers of Ayurveda here in America. So that's another tool to put in your toolbox, right? Or your treasure chest. Today we did the whoosh to release everything, and then we just did that breath where you visualize the breath coming in the nostrils, down the back of the throat, all the way to the belly button. And you just try to stay with that visual of your breath. It can be done seated, supine, which is lying down. Okay, so let's prepare ourselves to do some of the supine floor work that we do. If you have a block, I'd like you to have a block for this. I'd like you to have a strap for this. And if you don't have a block or strap, that's okay. Have a couple of towels. So a little bit bigger than a tea towel probably for most of you to do the leg stretching, and a bath towel would be good. So if you don't have that, if you came late or anything, go and get that now. We'll be using that for the next part of our class. So let's come on to boat pose Navasana, just a little awareness of the orange. I like to give a lot of visual cues for core, and today I gave you the visual of the orange, squeezing the orange. So if we're squeezing the orange, it's squeezing from top to bottom. Sorry. Squeezing from top to bottom and side to side, and then pushing back towards the belly. So you squeeze your orange and push back. That will turn on the core muscles. Come here into boat pose, holding on behind your thighs. Let's bring ourselves here. Let your legs be up. Now you can hold on behind your thighs, or if you'd like to let go, you can let go. And if you could come into full Navasana with legs extended, you can do that. If you need to hold on, hold on. If you can come here, contract your core, squeeze the orange, push the belly button back towards the spine. Nice and strong here, firing up your core right off the bat so that you'll know where it is. Take one more breath, and then let's bring ourselves down. So the heat, hopefully you felt heat somewhere here as your core turned on to do that action. So let's come all the way down onto the floor. Coming onto our side, we're going to reach our hand away and come all the way down onto the floor. Let's warm up our body here. So taking the arms out to the sides. When you take the arms out to the sides, this will help to open up and stretch the chest muscles, the shoulder muscles. And because many of us are sitting often now, there could be a rounding in the body. So this helps to start to correct your posture coming into this position. Okay, let's go ahead, widen the feet so that your feet are all the way as wide as the mat. And let's do a little windshield wiper action, letting the legs go side to side. If you can bend your elbows, come into bent elbows, letting your legs go side to side as you move through this. Let's inhale to let the legs go to the side. And when you exhale, contract the core to come back to center. Inhale over to the other side, contracting the core to come back to center. And just moving through this. You inhale, your legs go to the side. You exhale to come back to center. And then one more time. Let's end up on the left side. So wherever you are, come all the way to the left. And then activate your right hand. Just lift the right hand barely off the floor. And then bend the wrist a little so the energy comes up the right hand. The right thigh is towards the middle of the mat. Push the front right hip joint up towards the ceiling. So really lengthen and try to minimize the flexion in this hip joint. Taking deep breaths here. Push your heart up towards the sky, adding a little extension in your thoracic spine, and then take deep breaths here. Opening up the lateral chain, the side body, getting the body ready to twist, back bend, and some of the motions we use, especially in osteoporosis. Take one more breath. And then let's come back to center. Let's let our legs go over to the other side. Coming over to the other side, you're going to reach the left hand away from you. I may have to move my cats. No. Reach the left hand away from you, and then that left hip joint, you want to take flexion out. So push that left hip joint up towards the sky and move the knee away. So Lauren, I think you requested cats in one of the last videos I did, or one of these last lives. Well, they both showed up for you today, and they might be a little too distracting. That's Carson. Reach that left hand away. Take deep breaths down to your belly. And then take one more breath.
And then let's exhale, bring ourselves back to center. Let's bring our knees back into a regular position. So put your feet on the floor. Just lift your pelvis off the floor for a second to realign, and then put your pelvis down. Bring your left knee in, pull your left knee in, straighten your right leg, stretching the psoas on the right leg, starting to stretch a lot of the muscles of the hip joint. And in osteoporosis work, we do a lot with the hip joint. Very precarious place. So just take the hip and or the leg and move the leg back and forth. Try not to let the torso move. So let it be that it's this leg bone that you're moving back and forth to the side and back into the center, to the side, back to center. And then you're going to bring it back to center, hold on behind, and you're going to inhale and exhale. Pumping action here, lengthening that hamstring that we're going to be stretching soon. One of the forward fold poses in the practice. And then we're going to switch. So we're going to bend our right knee, bringing our right knee in, and take your left leg nice and long. So come here first to hold, pressing left leg into the floor, drawing the right knee in towards the chest. Then you're going to try to let it be just the leg that you move. So notice if your whole torso is rocking. Maybe you'll go a little slower in your movement and let the leg go side to side. Then you can hold on with just the right arm and then let the leg go out to the side. So you start to stretch the inner thighs, the inner thigh muscle, the adductor muscle group. Bring yourself back to center. You're holding on behind. So you're going to inhale and exhale, extending the leg, flexing the leg. Take one more breath. And then you're just going to go ahead and bend both legs. Bring both knees into your chest, helping to release tension in low back. So I have to say, this is new for all of us, and me teaching my classes online. I usually am in a room with people watching 15 to 20 bodies moving, helping to adjust and correct what's happening. And so I don't have that now with this format that we've chosen. And so for me to notice everything around me while I'm teaching, it's not watching bodies. These cats being here is very grounding for my mental energy because it's keeping me here in this awareness of where are they? Are they fighting? It's very interesting because it's all about our energy, our mental energy, our physical energy. So there's actually something grounding and soothing about this, having them here. Okay, let's go to our first pose. If you have a strap, let's try a strap. And if you have a towel, oh no. Okay, I think I'm meaning to move my cats. Okay, Willie. Willie's leaving. Say goodbye. You're leaving. Sorry. All right. So you're going to take your strap and, sorry, I just put that on to keep the range of motion in your joints. Very important for us so that we always maintain the ability to take care of ourselves by getting dressed, putting our shoes on, cutting our toenails. So take your strap or your towel, reach up to put it around your foot. Don't lasso the foot. Put it up on the foot. So whether it's a towel or a strap, if you have a strap, you're going to hold one piece of the strap with one hand and one with the other. Don't hold with just one hand, because I think that also what happens here is we strengthen our hands. And for those of us, I don't know what age group, but we start to lose the ability to open jars and we lose strength in our hands. So I think that's important. Then take your right leg all the way straight, if that's comfortable for you. If it's not, you can keep it bent, but if it's comfortable for you, and the toes are up towards the sky, very active pose here. So come into this pose, pulling the leg towards you and down, and then firm up all the muscles of the leg. So hug the bones with these muscles, firm up these muscles, and your muscles are pushing the leg away from you at the same time as you pull it towards you. Deep breaths. Press your right foot into the floor. Right toes are pointing straight up towards the sky, not out to the sides. So keeping nice functionality in your joints. Pull that left leg towards you. Push that right leg into the floor. Nice deep breaths here. Down to your belly. Feel that stretch behind the upper thigh. And then keep your lower back off the floor. So don't pull your legs so close to your head that your low back flattens. Keep your low back off the floor. Feel the pressure in the sacrum, which is the middle top part of your pelvis. Take one more breath. And then let's come into our next side. So bring your right foot up in the sky. Switch, whether it's a towel or a strap. Take your left leg along. You could even use a belt. So you maybe could find a belt in your house as well. Really nice and firm legs here. So keep your right leg nice and firm, pressing your left leg into the floor, toes are up towards the sky. Pull the strap towards you as you firm up the muscles of the right leg. So hug the bone, hug the femur bone in the right leg. Firm up these muscles and push that leg away with the muscles. Feel that stretch, and I'd love it if you felt it down by where the round part of the tushy cheek is. That would be great if you could feel it there. Pull the leg towards you and push the leg away with the muscles. Push that left leg into the floor. Deep breaths. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and put a slight bend in the leg. Actually, you're going to take the strap now or the hands on the towel, and you're going to slide the hand closer to you. So you have there's more strap on your leg. Then you're going to slowly bend the leg. So you bend the leg, and the strap is on the inside of your leg. It's not on the outside. It's on the inside of your leg. Think about this upper leg bone. You're going to open your upper leg out to the side. And from here, you're going to unbend the leg. Now try to not let this happen. You don't want your leg to go forward, okay? So if you come into this and then your leg wants to open out forward, you want your leg to be high. So it's better to have the upper leg bone higher than it is to have your leg closer to the floor, okay? And then press the left leg into the floor. Push into the arch part of the strap. So push the arch of your foot into the strap. Feel that stretch all up the inner thigh. This muscle is attached to your pelvis. Pulling on your pelvis, strengthening your pelvis. Very important for osteoporosis. And the part of our body we want to be strong and not break if we fall. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend that leg. Let's bring yourself back up to center. We're going to switch. So you're going to bend the left leg. Bring the left foot, remember, reach up with your head if you need to put the strap around your foot. And then you're going to bring both hands onto the strap, slide down, wrap your hand around, and then bending the left leg. So the strap's on the inside. Straighten the right leg. This will help to stabilize the pelvis. Then you're going to open your leg out to the side, put your elbow on the floor, and unbend that left leg. Pushing into the strap, the arch part of the strap. Firm up your belly, so squeeze the orange, push the belly button towards the spine. Really contract that core here. Press the leg towards the floor and let the leg be out to the side. Feel that stretch on the inner thigh, the left leg. Keep that leg really strong, reaching the leg away, and push into the arch part of the strap. Take one more breath. And then you could bend the leg, or you could keep the leg straight to come up to center, whatever is appropriate for you. Take the strap off to the side. And then let's just do a little core work before we come into the other parts of the practice that use a little bit higher in the body. That was back leg and adductors, hamstrings and adductors. So let's do a little core work here. I would love it if you had a block. If you don't have a block, a towel. If you have a towel, try to get the towel to be what we really want to go for here. This 4 inches here. Actually, this is 4 inches. This is more than 4 inches. It's really great for hip distance. So if you have a towel, try to make it as big as you can. It's going to go in the lower, see that? It goes in your legs there. And for those of you that have the block, it goes in like this between your legs. So not like this and not like this. It goes like this distance, okay? So it goes right in between your legs. And then you flex your feet. You want to be very active in your feet here. So don't let your toes go like that. You want your feet to be active. That's why I wore different color socks. So you could see the action in my feet and ankles. Take your hands alongside your body. You're going to inhale, let your legs go in one direction, doesn't matter which. When you exhale to come back to center, contract your core. So if you had a big orange there, squeeze and push down towards your spine. Inhale over to the other side. Exhale to come back to center. Inhale. Exhale back to center. Try to keep your rib cage on the floor. Let the rotation occur in the lower body, squeezing the block. If you want to go a little bigger, you can unbend your legs. So do what's appropriate for you. The good thing is nobody's with you in your house, or maybe your partner is, but leave the ego behind. So only do what's appropriate for you to do. If you come into something and try it and it's too challenging, go back to the first level. There's no prizes here. You inhale to the side, you exhale, contract the core to come back to center. Inhale to the other side, contract the core to come back to center. One more each direction. Inhale, and then the last one. Bringing yourself back to center. Bring the knees into the chest. Take the block out to the side. Rock side to side. Oh, and then we're going to put the feet on the floor. Actually, we're going to come into bridge pose. So we all need to take the blanket or the pillow that's behind your head away. It's really important. When we come up into bridge pose and we lift our pelvis off the floor, the body weight goes down. You want to make sure the body weight comes into the upper back, not the head and the neck. So if you have a block, you could place a block between your knees, or you could place your towel between your knees. This is going to help to activate some of the pelvic support here and not let the knees go out to the sides. Okay. So you're going to put your support between your knees, whatever that is for you. Walk your feet back as close as you could get them to your body. So really, really close to your body. Then take your hands down on the floor. And then you're going to flatten the low back into the floor. And then start to lift the pelvis off the floor. You're pushing both feet into the floor. You're squeezing the block. And then move the knees away from you. As you lift the rib cage, lift the pelvis up off the floor. Feel the weight coming to your upper back, not into your head and neck area. Nice deep breaths here, squeezing the block, moving the block away from you. Trying to extend through this hips here, take that flexion out. Squeeze the block, lift, 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 lift. If you'd like to bend your elbows, palms are up towards the sky, press into the elbows and the backs of the hands here, the backs of the arms, to lift the rib cage away from the floor. Deep breaths to the belly. Push your heart up towards your nose. So add extension to the thoracic spine. Don't look side to side. So keep your head in the same position. Don't move it side to side. And no weight is in the head and the neck. 3 more breaths if you can. And if you need to come down, come down. And if you could do 3 more breaths, do 3 more breaths. And on your last breath, you're going to take the tension out of your arms. Bring yourself down slowly, one vertebra at a time, until you get all the way down. When you come all the way down, bring your knees into your chest. All right. Knees are in at the chest, rocking side to side. Rock on to your right side. And then push yourself up, leading with your left shoulder, not your head, to come up to kneeling, actually. Then you're going to get your blanket, and your blanket is going to go on your mat for your knees. So come onto your knees, and then you're going to come onto your hands. Take your knees to the back edge of your blanket or your towel, whatever you have there, to the back edge. And my towel is down near the lower third of my mat. So you don't want it to be up here. We're going to go on our tummies. We're going to do the locust pose. So you're going to bring your hands onto the mat. Going to take an inhale, come into cow pose. This is extension. We need more of this. Let your tailbone point up towards the wall behind you and the crown of your head. Right here, your clavicle bones. Feel them looking forward or pushing them forward. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, only flex lower spine. So contract the orange, push the low back up towards the sky. Let the tailbone go down, but try to keep the upper back straight. So you just do your movement, whole spine on the extension, and then only in the lower trunk on exhale for flexion. We want to be careful with flexion with osteo. All right. Bring your knees so they're directly underneath your pelvis. Bring your hands a little forward. Pointer fingers are forward. Take your right foot back, put your toes on the floor. Bring your left foot up into full plank. Make sure you're not hammocking your body. You don't want to be like that. If you have your tushy in the air a little bit just because you need that, that's okay. If you can come into a linear position, so if I put a marble on your head, it would roll down to your heels. Push your heels back. There's movement here in plank. You can go forward and back. Push your weight back so it's in your feet as well. And then push your toes into the floor. So push your pinky toe into the floor, your next toe, your next toe. All your toes are in the floor. Feel the strength of this pose in your body. This will help to metabolize some of those stress hormones that are in our body. Not a lot of movement taking place these days. So stay if you can. If you need to come down, bring your knees down. We're doing a minute. Push your fingertips into the floor strongly. All of the fingertips. Push your heels back. One more breath. And then go ahead and bring your knees down. Okay, that was a minute. Walk your hands back. I think I can get away with a little bit more when I'm not in front of you. Okay, wrists here. We're going to come onto the floor and do our supine or our locust pose. You're going to bring your knees back. You're going to walk your hands forward, coming onto your forearms, and then let the lower body come down. This is Sphinx pose, so arrange your spine here. Tailbone is moving back towards the back edge of your mat, and you're pushing your heart forward. And with that length, bring all that length into your body as you come all the way down. Chin to the floor, take your hands down alongside your body. Thumbs are touching your body, palms are up. And then reach your legs away one at a time, lengthen your body. Inhale, lift your body off the floor. Your upper body, your hands, your legs, reach your fingertips away, reach your hands away. Deep breaths here down to the belly. If you want to come and bring your hands to the side, bring your hands to the side in scarecrow arms, keeping your hands up, not just the elbows tipping up, but keep the hands and the elbows together. For those of you that want to do full expression, you could bring the hands forward if that's something that works for you in your practice. Choose what's appropriate for you. One more breath. And then let's exhale. Let's take a break for a second. Take your hands one at a time, one on top of the other. Put your forehead onto your hands. Wiggle your pelvis back and forth, side to side. Then you're going to take your right hand out in front of you, roll onto your right side, and push yourself up to seated. Okay, let's do one of the seated twists in the practice. You're going to need something to sit on for this. So take a blanket or a towel and fold your towel, and then sit on your towel. I think I'll do it this direction. No, I think I'm going to use the length of the mat. So sit on your towel. So you're at the very edge of your towel. You're all the way forward. So you feel like you're falling forward. This will help to keep you more upright. And then notice where your torso, we want to not be here, and we want to not be rounding here. That's why we're elevated on that blanket or pillow. So if you need something a little higher, find that. Then let's take the right leg, bend the right leg. Keep that left leg active. Toes are up towards the sky. So don't let the foot be floppy. Don't let it be out to the side. Very active leg. You're going to push the left leg into the floor, push the right leg into the floor. That will help to activate the posterior chain of the body and helps to support the lumbar spine when we do this rotation. So that's important for protection. Now, when we do twists, it's important to have a lengthened spine before you add that rotation and a little thoracic extension. So a little back bend here in the upper spine. Take a hold of your right leg. Sit nice and tall and sit on top of your pelvis. So not back here, right on top. Take your right hand behind you and then make like a tripod or a pentapod, because there's 5, I guess. And then push your heart forward in that extension. Push both feet into the floor and start to draw the lower ribs to the right, the middle ribs, and finally the upper ribs to the right. And then you can let the head join. Deep breaths down to the belly. Really deep breaths. Feel that rotation. Keep lengthening your spine. Add that extension. Push the heart forward. Active feet. Deep breaths down to your belly. Length, 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 and rotation. Take one more breath. And then let's exhale to come out of that. Let's come over to the other side. So you're going to bend the left leg. Right leg is nice and long. Get yourself nice and tall. Now, if you have any stored energy that you need to move out of the way from this leg, you can move your stored energy to the left. And if you cannot bend your knee that much, it's okay to not bend the knee that much. What's really important here is that you don't have flexion or rounding in the spine when you try to rotate it. You want length and you want a little extension in your spine. That's what's really important here too. And then you're going to use the feet to help to turn on that back body for support. Press the right leg into the floor, press the left foot into the floor. Hold on to that left leg to help get some length in the spine. Use the right hand on the left leg, take the left hand behind you. Push your fingertips into the floor, get length, 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 and then add rotation. Rotation from the lower ribs all the way around. Active right leg, active left leg. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Push the heart forward. Lift. Use the hand to help you get that length in your spine. Breathe deep down to your belly, really deep down to the belly. Take one more breath. And then on your next exhale, let's come all the way forward. Let's come out of that. Why don't you bring your inner thighs together for just a second? Just open your inner thighs to the side. It feels nice and good. Okay. So we're going to come to standing. Don't be alarmed. It's doable. You're going to bring your knees onto a towel. So I'm teaching the way to get up that the PTs teach people to get up safely. The important thing when we go from one position to another is that we allow our blood vessels the time to calibrate. And for those of us that are over 50, out of our 50s or out of our 40s, when we are in the process of aging, the blood vessels get less pliable. So we have wrinkles on the outside that we see, and we also have wrinkles on the inside that we don't see. And so the blood vessels are not quite as pliable as we get older. So it's more important to allow the time for the blood to get to where it needs to get from one position to the next. So we are here. You're going to bring the foot forward. Challenge yourself if you know one leg is stronger than the other. And if you have troubles with balance, use the safest leg for yourself. The important thing here is that the knee and the ankle are in alignment, that you don't have the foot too close to your body. That's very hard to come up from this position and not really safe for the knee joint. So bring your foot forward, whichever that is. Flip the back toes under. Take your hand on top of your thigh. Inhale to let your body weight go back, and then exhale. Push yourself up to a standing position. And if you're shocked that you're able to do it, it is one of the more challenging things, I'd say, for people is to move to a standing position. And it's actually what keeps a lot of people out of yoga classes is they think they have to go from down to up quickly. And it's a shame. People choose either chair yoga, thinking they won't have to move, it feels safe, or they maybe can go to some of the more challenging classes. I would like you to have a chair here. This would be important to have a chair. And if you don't have a chair, I'm going to say okay to a wall. So I'll be a little farther away if I use this wall, but I'm going to use this wall. I do have my phone with me. I don't want you to think I'm on my phone all the time. It's how I move my music. So it's how I turn it up, turn it down, and know where it's at. Okay, so I'm not on my phone. Okay, one thing that's really important for me that people understand, I'm going to show you this side because I don't want this to be distracting, is pelvic. I want you to understand pelvic tilting. Okay, this is an important action to have in your body's pelvic tilting. So let's see what it is. I talked about an orange. If there was a big juicy orange here for your core, we squeeze down and we squeeze in and then we push back towards our belly. Okay. So we're going to do that action, squeezing our orange, and see if we can get our pelvis to move when we squeeze our orange. So take an inhale, let everything be soft, let everything hang out. And on the exhale, contract your orange and help to posteriorly tilt the pelvis. Inhale to release. Exhale, let the core do the work. You contract the core. It's like suspenders right here. So, if you were going to pull up your pants with suspenders, you would do this action. So it's like from here, we're lifting up towards the lower ribs. So think about pubis bone and lower ribs trying to meet each other as you compress and squeeze your orange. Inhale, soft. Exhale, squeeze your orange. Tilt your pelvis. Inhale. Exhale. You'll notice the curve of the back changes. You'll feel your tailbone going down. And this is a really good thing for any of you that have lower back issues, or even I'm going to say hip and knee issues. So me with my whole hip journey and the issues I have in my hips, that's been very helpful for me to pull myself off of the front of my hip joint. So when we can add that posterior tilt to the pelvis, we help to lift the weight away from this anterior portion of the hip joint. And then I'm going to say also from the knees. So it's a really great thing for those of you with issues in your tissues. All right, here's what I want to talk about: proper bending. Right here, where the legs attach to the body. I feel like I need to do it on this side because I don't want my little yoga person to be distracting. Okay, right here is where the legs attach to the body. Forward folding happens at the hip joint. I want it to be at the hip. So notice, take your fingers, take your hands, like karate chop yourself right where your legs attach. And then you're going to try to squish your hands as your low belly comes close to your top thighs. And if you go nice and slow, you keep your spine straight. This is a no-no. See how I'm rounding my upper spine? The hunchback of Notre Dame, a no-no, especially if you have osteoporosis. It's where many of the fractures occur in the body. So this is a no-no. It's here. This is where you're on a bend. And you'll notice my knees are bending. My knees are not, this is not happening. So what I see is a lot of people, many people do this. They bend with their knee joint coming forward, and all they're doing is putting force on the knee joint, force on the knee joint, wear and tear on the knee. It's here. See how my knees, they flex, but they don't flex so much. And see how my tushy goes back? Largest muscles in the body right here. Okay? So you're going to take your hands on your chair and walk back a little bit. And if you're on a wall, you're going to have your hands on the wall as you practice this. Keeping your spine, and if you're on the wall and your hands are pretty high, this really helps to ensure that you do not bend your spine right here. You do not add flexion there. So the hands are on the chair, the hands are on the wall. Contract your orange, squeeze your orange, and then bend your hip joint. And then you're going to look down at your feet. I want your feet to be hip distance. So it's about 4 inches. It's very, very narrow. And you're going to bring your feet into a hip distance position. You're going to put your hands on your chair or your hands are up your wall. You're going to contract your core. So squeeze your orange, coming into that posterior pelvic tilt. And then flex the hip joint. What's happening to your knees? Don't let your knees go forward. Come down as far as you can comfortably. And then bring your hands up off the chair. Chair pose. If you'd like, I'd like you to look down at your knees. Make sure you could see the tops of your feet. Squeeze your orange to protect your low spine. Lift your upper body up. This pose is called lightning bolt. So it is a lightning bolt shape. If you can go a little lower in your hip joint, not your knees, pushing your knees back if they came forward. Lift your toes off for a second and then put your toes back down. Only go as low as comfortable for you. I can't see all of you. So the important things here are contract your core, push your belly button back, keep your knees back, lift your upper body up so you're not rounding your thoracic spine. That's what's important. Take one more breath and then bring your hands together and then come all the way up. Okay, you should feel stuff in your tushy. I feel stuff in my tushy. All right. Let's come chair. I'd like you to have a chair. And if you don't have a chair, I want you to be in your house near your wall so that your tushy is up against your wall. So if you're on a wall, you could do that. If you have a chair, bring the chair in front of you. Or if you're at the edge where you have a sofa in front of you, just something in front of you that's really safe for the nervous system. And then we're going to have the chair on the left side of the, I'm going to mirror you, on your right side body. So you're going to have the chair closer to your right hip, not your left hip, okay? And then you're going to walk your feet pretty wide, 3 feet if you can, 3-ish feet if you can. Then you're going to take your right toes, pick your right toes up, point your right toes to the top of the mat. And then the left foot, the toes are going to go in and you're going to move the left heel away. So this is important. The left is coming in and the right is going out like that, okay? That's important. And then with your left foot, the pinky toe edge of your left foot, push that into the floor like a karate chop and lift the arch off, activate that foot. That's very important as well. Take your hands out to the side. You're going to let your hips go to the left. Reach your right hand, reach your right hand until you come either on the edge of the chair. Let's all start on the edge of the chair. Start on the edge of the chair and bring your left hand up. If this is your heart lights, I want your heart lights forward. These are your hip lights. I want them forward as well. Heart lights forward, hip lights forward. Take your hand on the inner portion of the right side edge of the chair. Left hand is up. Activate that left foot. Lift that left arch off the floor. Push both feet into the floor and get taller. And try to keep your torso as if you're in between 2 sheets of glass here. Reach up, reach up. For those of you that have a little stronger practice, you could take your right hand and place the right hand on the inside Back of the hand on the inside of the leg. Really reach up, up, up. Activate that left foot. Squeeze your orange, push your belly button back towards your spine. Tailbone is pointing down towards the left heel. This is triangle pose, very strong pose. Take one more breath. You're going to bring yourself up slowly. Keep your legs straight. Let your obliques pull you back up. Let your core pull you back up. Then come up for a second. So I know that triangle pose and then that chair pose are pretty strong. You do what's appropriate for you, okay? You do you, everyone else is taken, right? So it's not that it has to look a certain way. I'm going to try to give you the safety aspects of these poses, and then you're going to find them in your body. Take the chair now over to the left side. Feet are wide. Take your left toes up, left toes point to the left, right toes are in the floor, and right heel moves away. Then you make a very firm, strong strength down that right side of your leg. And I don't know if you could see my feet. I hope you can see how my foot kind of rolls a little bit there. You're really extending that ankle joint, strengthening the feet, strengthening the ankle, a real big part of the equation for fall prevention. And then also receptivity in the ankle joint. Lift the arch off the floor, really active right leg. Hands are out to the side. Take an inhale. And then lengthen, lengthen, lengthen your left hand to the left and your hips to the right. And then you're going to come to the inside edge of the chair. Palm faces forward. Contract your core, push your belly button to your spine. Tailbone is down towards the right inner edge of the heel. If you'd like to go a little farther, take your palm, bring your left palm, left back of the hand on the left leg. This is your heart light. Heart light faces forward. Really try to get the heart light forward. Don't let the heart light go down to the sky, to the ground. Up, up, up. Contract your core. Push your belly button to your spine. Open your hands. Push your feet into the floor and pull that power up into your body. It's called triangle. It's a strength pose. Triangle shaped like the pyramids. Very strong structures. Heart light forward. Always rotate your trunk forward. Rotate, rotate. Putting all that force in the hip joints here by pulling and by compressing that left leg bone into that hip joint, strengthening the pelvis, strengthening the femur head. Work on this lateral chain as well. Take one more breath. And then keep your legs pressing into the floor and bring yourself up. You gotta love live, where every aspect of the house comes through. Bring yourself out of that. Okay, shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Okay. All right. That's all we're going to do physically today. Now we're going to go down. The last part of class is Shavasana. You're going to bring your chair to the end of the mat if you have it, or you're going to bring your props that you're using for underneath your legs back. You're going to bring your blanket or towel to the top of the mat, and let's bring ourselves down onto the floor. And then just to realign the spine before you come all the way into your Shavasana, I'd like you to bring your knees into your chest. Then I'd like you to bring your legs up to the sky. So notice where your legs are here. Try not to have them away from your body here. This is too much tension on the belly. So if your legs go here, bend them a little bit more, the knees, and bring them here. So this top leg bone is coming right out of your hip joint. Don't let the top leg bone be too far away from the body. It's a lot of pressure on the back. There's a muscle, the psoas, that's attached to the lower back bones, and this will cause a lot of, so coming here, let's inhale to point the toes and exhale to flex. Keep your feet about a foot apart, so don't have them next to each other. Inhale, point, exhale, flex. Inhale, point, exhale, flex. And then slow circles in opposite direction. Articulate your ankle joint. Another thing for fall prevention and injury prevention, so that you become bendable and not breakable. Not that we want to bend or break or fall or any of that, but we need to be aware and ready just in case we trip. And I think tripping is just a part of life for many. So let's just be ready for that and receptive. And then you're going to contract your calves strongly and then release, contract, release. One more time, contract, and then release. Let's come into our Shavasana. Bring your legs all the way down onto whatever, either the chair or the whatever's underneath your knees. So I'm not going to guide you through this. You're going to stay with your breath. This is for you to connect back to your small s self to the big S self. This is you to connect energetically. Focus on your breath, deep belly breathing, and slow down your breath. Stay with your breath. So gently begin to deepen your breath. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And roll your ankles and your wrists. And then you're going to contract your core as you gently bring your knees into your chest, rocking from side to side. And then rock all the way on to your right side. When you're ready to lift yourself up, you're going to use your left hand and lead with the left shoulder, not the head, coming up to a seated position. We're going to close the practice with sound. The sound of Om is a primordial sound of life. It's a blending of the vowel sounds A, O, or U, and M. It's from an open mouth, the back of the throat, to the middle of the mouth, to the lips. That's where the sound comes from. It's from the back of the throat. So it shouldn't sound a particular way. And because you're at home, feel comfortable with your sound. Let your body make sound. It's very healing. Taking your hands, rubbing your hands together, bringing your thumbs to touch your sternum bone. Sit nice and tall, elongate your spine. Deep breath down to the belly. At the end of a yoga class, we say the word namaste to each other. Namaste. And that word namaste means I bow, or I bow to you. And then elongating that is that the divine that's in me, or the light that's in me, recognizes and honors that same light that's in you. Namaste. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. I know that some of you that are with me today are not usually with me in class. So I would like to speak about the last song that I just played. And this is also for people who study with me. I would like to explain what this mantra is. I need to put on glasses. I'd like to explain what this mantra is because I play it at all my songs and everyone asks. And I researched it yesterday because I think it's so beautiful. So here it's called Gobinde Makande. Besides helping cleanse the subconscious mind, this mantra balances the hemispheres of the brain, bringing compassion and patience to the one who meditates on it. So the words, this is what the words are. So they're for the 8 sides or the 8 different aspects or names of the divine. And in Sanskrit, it actually describes qualities or aspects of something. It's not literally naming, it's the qualities of that. So these are the 8 names for the divine. Call it God, call it consciousness, call it the goo-goo monster, the divine presence, the energy of all life, whatever. Here is what they mean. Gobinde is the sustainer, Makande, liberator, Adare, enlightener, Apare, infinite, Haryang, destroyer, Karyang, creator, Narame, nameless, Akame, desireless. So, wow. Anyway, it's beautiful. And I'm going to have a blog to this on my website with a link to where you can find who I use, Sada Satkur. And this is from the Sikh tradition in India, with people who wear the white turbans, and from Kundalini Yoga. And when I first heard this, it touched me in such a deep place. I had to know what it was. And so that is why I use it and I share it with you all. Okay, so a few of you are texting me or chatting with me. I wanted to say, hi, Rosanna. Nancy, great. You're able to talk to me.
I'm so happy. And hi, Jeannie and George. Wow, we're all going to get in great shape. Do you guys realize that? I feel so strong and flexible in my life because I teach 7 classes a week. And now you guys see, where's the lemonade out of these lemons? Where's the positive? There's always a silver lining. There's always something to be grateful for. So you're all going to be super strong. I'm going to have to kick it up a notch when we get back in person live. Shannon, great. Nice to have you here. Um, and Joanna. All right. So thank you so much. I'm actually doing another class in 8 minutes. I've got my yoga for balance. And so if you'd like to join me in 8 minutes, I'm going to take a little break to kind of, gather my energy and refocus. And thank you so much for joining me. Below this video is a subscribe button. If you like what you're seeing, subscribe. And if you like, you can hit the thumbs up. And of course, if you wanted to not like, although I don't usually ever not like anything unless it's offensive, and I hope I'm not offensive. So, and then my newsletter, my website, and share this so that we can come to as many people as possible with yoga, especially now. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to see you in the next class. Bye. Take care and have a beautiful Thursday. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.